topic number one. LeBron James did clinch one GOAT award over All-Star Weekend. He is now, hands down, the all-time greatest master media manipulator in the history of all of sports. Any athlete, any year, any era, any time, hands down, LeBron stole this award and ran with it over the weekend. What he just pulled off was, to me, hilariously brilliant. Master media manipulator. The phony goat, as I call him in the basketball context, just managed to scapegoat Lakers GM Rob Pelinka for not fixing the problem that LeBron himself created in the first place. Look, by all accounts, and I first guessed this, LeBron James was the one responsible for telling Pelinka no on a Buddy Hield deal that he had on the table, all but done, just needed LeBron to sign off on with the Sacramento Kings. LeBron pushed and pushed and pushed some more for the Lakers to go get Russell Westbrook. Again, I first guessed this on Undisputed. I said, disaster waiting to happen. Will not fit, will not work. And boy, was I right about this one. But I also first guessed that LeBron had two ideas in mind here. He had a two-pronged approach to this, two-pronged master plan. First, he would try to pull off something that obviously Kevin Durant could not, would not, should not even have ever tried, and that is to win with Russell Westbrook in Oklahoma City. If he could pull that off, if he could pull off what James Harden couldn't pull off, if he could pull off what Paul George couldn't pull off in Oklahoma City, if he could pull off what Kawhi said, I don't want any part of, then LeBron could maybe help his GOAT case by saying, look what I did, ladies and gentlemen. I won with Russell Westbrook. I did something nobody else could do. I knew that wouldn't work. That brought us to step two, stage two, which is the scapegoat stage. The GOAT always needs, and I'm putting quote around goats, the GOAT always needs an excuse, a finger to point, a scapegoat. And in this case, it was set up right on cue to be Russell Westbrook. Well, not only was he the GOAT, but Russ failed so badly and so quickly that he was almost a too obvious scapegoat. And all of a sudden, LeBron, as the Lakers began to fail, saw a way out, a road possibly to redemption. Aha, I got rid of Russell Westbrook, and then AD and I, Anthony Davis and I, went on and pulled this off or that off or whatever they might be able to pull off without Russell gumming up their works. And here they went, and they come up with a plan thanks to Clutch Sports. And Shannon Sharp, my partner on Undisputed, gets furious with me because I'm sure Rich Paul gets furious with me. But Clutch Sports was obviously started by LeBron. Initially, it was funded by LeBron. It is overseen by LeBron. It is run by Rich Paul, and he is great at what he does. I'm a big fan of Rich Paul. I'm an even bigger fan of Maverick Carter, who is LeBron's right-hand man in all of his business dealings, Hollywood and Wall Street. LeBron has surrounded himself with not good, but great people. But in this case, thanks to Rich Paul and Clutch, they had another client named John Wall, who is obviously on ice in mothballs in Houston. So obviously it made sense suddenly to LeBron and to Rich, well, let's just trade problems because John Wall is irrelevant to this equation. It doesn't matter whether John Wall plays one dribble for the Lakers. This would be addition by subtraction. Just get rid of Russ. Get him out of here. Get him out of our hair, out of our way, out of our sight. Let Houston use him as a sideshow as they continue to rebuild, a drawing card, which he still is. And whether John Wall sits on the bench or leads the bench mob or whatever he does, just doesn't matter to the equation. Addition by subtraction. Obviously, Houston says, well, we'll take him off your hands, but we at least need your 2027 first-round pick. And guess what Jeanie Buss finally said? Daughter of Dr. Jerry Buss. She's tough, Jeanie. She's smart. She's been around. She grew up in this business. And she finally said, that's enough. I've seen and heard enough of LeBron James running this show. He's the one who wanted Russ. I'm not going to let him undo his mistake, costing us our first in 2027 when obviously LeBron will no longer be a Laker. So Jeanie put her foot down and said no. And here came LeBron with a 21-gun salute. On the attack over All-Star Weekend, dating back to last week, it was so transparently childish. It was so transparently petty. LeBron now wears the crown of biggest diva in the history of sports. There's never been anything like this guy. Great talent. Still the best passer in basketball. Still the greatest driver of the basketball I've ever seen. Still has the highest IQ on the basketball court. And he is the biggest diva who ever stepped on a basketball court or a football field or any other field of play. He is the drama king. And it actually started last week with the social media post concerning Les Snead, the Rams GM. You remember what it was. LeBron posted the picture of the T-shirt that actually Les Snead's kids got for him that says, F those picks. Well, obviously, Les Snead traded away his present and his future for what turned out to be a Super Bowl champion because he acquired the talent he needed to win now. So LeBron posts, Les Snead, my type of guy, trading picks for now. And obviously, that turns all the guns out there on social media toward Rob Pelinka, because obviously LeBron is cheering on the LA Rams GM at the expense of the LA Lakers GM, Rob Pelinka. If only Pelinka had traded his 2027 pick to get me, LeBron, out from under Russ. I hope you enjoyed that video. You ready for more? Make sure you click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from the Skip Bayless Show. And don't forget to check out the full episode of the show wherever you get your podcasts by clicking the link in the description.